Hi, how's it going? So today I want to do a quick and simple explanation of what's a remaster between that and a remix. So when you're listening to music, you might find an old album, or you might go to a store and you find an old record and it says a nice little sticker that says, oh, it's remixed and remastered. Well, what does that mean? So let's just talk about mixing real quick. So we're going to use these pens and pencils. So we'll say this is our center speaker, which will go to both your left and your right. Let's pretend these are earbuds. So this is going to be your left earbud, this will be your right earbud, and the center one will go to both. So real simple. So let's say you have a real old song from the 60s. It's just vocals, guitar, an acoustic guitar, and a bass. So let's say they decide, okay, here's my vocal track. I'm going to put it in the center so that both speakers, it'll come out of both speakers. So if you're listening to it with earbuds or headphones, it'll come out of your left and your right. Say, okay, now I want an acoustic guitar. Where do I want that guitar? And we'll say, this is our guitar. We'll put it right in the center too, so it can go to both. And okay, how about that bass? Take the bass and we'll put it in the center, so you hear it in both headphones, both speakers at the same time. Now that's mono, and so around the late 60s, that's when they started doing stereo. So they would move, okay, we'll keep the vocal here, we'll move the guitar to the left, we'll move the bass to the right. So now, if you're listening to it, you hear the vocal on both sides, but you hear the guitar on the left only with the vocal, and on the right you hear the bass and the vocal. So that's easy. So now it's, 2024. Okay, we're going to remaster this. So they took that old album and they brought it, let's say Abbey Road, and then they put it in and they uploaded it. They took all that from that vinyl, put it on a computer. So remaster, for the most part, is when they take something old like that and they turn it and they put it into like the new software. At the time, it depends, it varies through the years. The new software, then they kind of clean it up, maybe get rid of some of the muffling, maybe keep it in, but update it with better sound, maybe add a little effect so it sounds newer, or they try to keep it, but we're able to make it in stereo instead of the original mono. So now let's say that same song, okay, we're going to keep the vocal. Let's put it on the left this time. That guitar, let's put in the center track so both headphones can hear. That bass, we'll put it right there. So if you're listening to this with headphones on the left, you'll get that vocal and the guitar, and in your right, you'll get that bass and that guitar. So that's simple. And then that's like a remix of the album. So then the remaster is putting into the software, make it new. A remix is when they change the instrumentals around. They can bring up stuff that's buried, or they can, tweak it a little, turn it down, maybe put the bass up more. So I'm going to show you some examples of remixes and remasters from albums. Not playing them, but I'll just show you. So this is a 20th anniversary of Nevermind. It was remastered. Now, I hate this version of the album. I have not got the 30th. I probably won't. But what they did, and it was something called the Loudness Wars. So around the late 2000s, early 2010s, they started like remastering old albums, and they just started turning them up like they did to Black Sabbath, and people hated that sound because it's a loud album to begin with, so they just cranked it up even more. So this master of this album was awful. The extras are great. I love the extras, but that was terrible. So for $2 I bought the CD that came out in 1991, and it sounds amazing, sounds great, same sound, better quality. So that's just an example of how mastering can go wrong. So there's that. Now, early, when they started putting stuff to CD in 1987, they did it with the Beatles catalog. So this was pretty much just, I don't even know if it was ripped from the actual master tapes or they just took a vinyl and they're like, here you go, and they put it on. So some people really enjoy these versions because they might sound like a vinyl. But then 2009, almost 20 years later, they finally remastered the Beatles catalog, giving it a better sound, better quality. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold still. So they remastered the Beatles catalog, and they sound great. Now, recently what they've been doing, which is what this is the remix. So they took those tracks, kind of brought different stuff up, and maybe moved them to different channels. But these are what a lot of people have been talking about for the last, almost 10 years, are these just great quality mixes. So that's another example. And my last example will be the Doors. So for their 40th anniversary, they remixed and remastered all their albums. So what that is, they just pretty much they found different guitar tracks, different vocal tracks, different screams that Morrison did. They put them all in, and then they remixed them from there and remastered them. So these sound very different than how they originally sounded, which was a cool idea. And then they did their 50th, which was just a remix and remaster of the original album without all those extras in. Whoa, excuse me. So that's just a quick summary of what a remix, what a remaster is. Like, share, subscribe. All right, thanks. Bye.